All right, most people think the goal in life is to make more money, get a raise, get a better job, start a side hustle. But the truth is, the rich actually avoid income. And once you understand why, it completely changes how you think about money, taxes, and investing as a whole. This isn't just for billionaires either. It's for a lot of different people and it can apply in different ways. This matters before you're rich, not after. Now, let's start with something that no one tells you, right? Income is the most expensive form of money. Does that make sense to you? Well, every dollar you earn from your job gets hit immediately. What do I mean by hit? Federal tax, state tax, payroll tax, and if you're doing well, even more taxes. It's always about the taxes, right? Work harder, you're going to pay more. Get promoted. Guess what? You are going to pay more. Build a side hustle. Again, you're going to pay more. That's why so many people feel like they're running faster and faster, but never actually getting ahead. And if you watched my last video about the buy, borrow, die, this will make sense. The problem isn't that they didn't make enough money. The problem is they're playing the income game. And this is where wealthy people play a completely different game, just like we were talking about before in that last video. When wealthy people think about money, they don't think in terms of paychecks like the average person does, right? They think in terms of ownership. And what do we consider ownership, right? Stocks, real estate, businesses, assets that grow even when they're not working, right? Here is the key difference. Income requires effort every single time. Assets work once and keep paying you forever. That's why rich people don't ask, how much do I need to earn, right? That's just a question that doesn't come up. They ask something completely different. They ask, how big does my asset base need to be? This next part is where it all clicks. So don't miss this. I promise we're getting somewhere with this. This is where buy, borrow, die really comes in, right? And if you haven't watched that video, go back and watch it. I explain a lot of good stuff on there. Once wealthy people own enough assets, they don't sell them to get money. They borrow against them. That loan isn't income, it's not taxable, and the asset keeps growing while they're using the money. That's really powerful. And so instead of selling a stock and paying taxes, they just borrow against it. And instead of selling real estate and triggering capital gains, they take a loan against it. It's actually very simple. The asset grows faster than the loan interest, right? And that's how wealth compounds quietly in the background. This is why income is actually the last thing that a wealthy person wants. Now, here's where a lot of people get this wrong, right? They hear this and think, well, that's great for rich people, but that doesn't apply to me. That's backwards. And it can very easily apply to you. It applies to me, and I'm not extremely wealthy. This mindset is exactly what you need before you're wealthy. You don't start by just borrowing. You start by building that base, right? Your first goal isn't replacing income. Your first goal is owning as many assets as you possibly can. Like we talked about, stocks and real estate, all that good stuff. That's why I always say like your first $100 invested is more important than your first $100,000 salary because of the habits that it's building, right? Quick disclaimer before we get further into this video though, this video is for educational purposes only. It's not financial or tax advice. Always do your own research or consult with a professional before making any decisions for yourself. This is just me talking to you guys here on a camera. Let me put this into real world terms for you guys, right? Somebody making $100,000 a year but spending everything always is going to stay stuck. Now, someone making $60,000 a year but investing consistently, they're starting to build leverage and a lot of it. One person chases income forever. The other quietly builds a base that eventually replaces that income. That's why Wealth often looks extremely boring at first, but becomes unstoppable later on, years and years down the road. If this sounds slow, it's supposed to. This doesn't happen overnight, this happens over decades. Wealth doesn't explode until after that strong base, that strong foundation is built. The rich don't live off of income because income keeps you trapped in the system, right? It keeps you in that tax rat race. They live off of assets. They borrow strategically, they control their taxes. And the moment that you stop like chasing paychecks and you start building ownership and your base, the entire game changes for you. If this helped you understand money differently, hit the subscribe button. We're a new channel we're building here. I'm breaking this all down with real numbers and real portfolios, my own personal stuff, real progress. I'm showing you guys the entire journey of $0 to $1 million, and I'm showing you guys the systems that I'm using to get there. I'll see you guys in the next one.